What's up, YouTube? Today we are back with another video. We have our Spurs versus Thunder series recap as well as our Spurs versus Knicks series preview. Let's get into it. Alright, so starting off with our Spurs versus Thunder series recap. It was an amazing series. I predicted that it would be Spurs in 7 and it actually happened, so I'm 2 for 2 on series predictions. I think both coaches made great post-game adjustments going into the following game. I think the Spurs game plan of making SGA see bodies and having the role players have to touch the paint against Victor and funneling everything into him, I think that worked really well at times. I think there was times where the in-game adjustments could have been better once he saw, oh, the role players are getting off a little bit. Let's try to maybe stay home with shooters and funnel SGA into Vic and make him see 2 at all times instead of having to see 5 at all times. Let's make the role players, let's make them shoot over high hands a little bit more, and we still have the ultimate rim protector, and we're gonna stay solid on SGA and make him make tough shots, which he can, and he's shown he can over the last 4, 5, 6 seasons. But over the course of a game, what happens with James Harden is he gets tired because of how much self-creating he has to do, and that's what you could have did to SGA in those games where the where the Thunder role players were kind of getting off. But overall, I think it was a really physical series. I love how at times the refs kind of let them play. I think a couple of things, obviously as a ref, you're human, you're gonna miss some things. So it was a couple of things that I saw that I didn't really like when Mitch Johnson asked for the challenge right in front of the ref's face and they didn't give it to him, and then also gave him a tech. And when Hardenstein got inadvertently elbowed, which I don't think should be a flagrant, but Dagnall had to use a challenge on that and he was upset, so he got a tech called on him. I don't like that emotion from the ref, which it's gonna happen because they are human, but that is something that can start a run, affect the series in a multitude of ways, and it's just not something that I really want to see. But just for the most part, it felt like two gladiators really going at it. I think Cason Wallace played very well the entire series. I think he was solid. He was a great defender. He was knocking down shots. I think they could have used him a little bit more on ball. I think they did a little bit too much of Caruso on ball. I would have liked them to see them get Wallace more involved, because I think he has the ability to scale up, not to a massive extent, but I think he can scale up somewhat to alleviate some pressure from the other role players. Like Lu Dort shouldn't be asked to self-create. I don't think Caruso should be asked to self-create a whole lot. I think they could have shared that burden. So that's one thing I think the Thunder could have did, was get him more involved. Chet, I don't know how is Game 7 and you kind of shell up. That's not the time. That's not the time to play passively. You have to go out shooting. They're gonna live or die by them. They're not gonna let everything else dictate the game. You have to go dictate the game. You have to be aggressive, whether you're missing or making shots, you're missing defensive assignments. You have to. I don't feel like he really played his heart out. I personally feel like Big Jalen Williams outplayed him this series, and that's not what you want from your $200 million 4 or 5 man that you drafted number 2 overall. You don't want him getting outplayed by Jalen Williams, who by pay scale should be nowhere close. And the fact that I think that makes Chet expendable. eerily reminded me of the Ben Simmons in Philadelphia type thing, where Ben didn't take that shot and his confidence was shot for the rest of his career, and now he's not in the NBA. I'm not saying that's what's gonna happen to Chet, because they're two different players, and Chet is a rim protector. He can step out and shoot the three, so he has skills that translate to pretty much any team. But it did feel like his confidence was shot. So I want to say I hope Chet can get out of his head and get to playing like himself. As far as the Thunder, their offseason changes, I don't really see them making a lot. I see a lot of people thinking they're gonna hit the red button and go get Giannis. I don't necessarily see that happening. I think it's gonna be continued. I think they may trade up in the draft to get a difference maker at that 4 or 5 position, or the 3 position. And I can also see them using those picks to just go get another ball handling creator. Because with Jalen Williams, those hamstrings, I know he's young, he can heal, but those hamstrings, once you pull them, you're more susceptible to pulling and straining them on occasion at a higher clip. So that's something that's scary. But the Spurs in Game 7, you could tell they came out with that just hunger and that fight, and like they had a lot of heart. I thought the Thunder came out very lethargic. It didn't look like they were going, I don't know if they were tired, they were jet lagged or whatever, but it felt like they were kind of just going through the motions, and it allowed the Spurs to get momentum from the start and really push the pace, really set the tone physically, set the tone with the intensity level and effort. And that was a big problem. I know every time the Spurs made a run, the Thunder would then make a run to cut it to like 6 or 4 or 1. But then after a timeout or anything, the Spurs would then push the lead back up to 9 or 10. And it was just the Thunder were just trying to like follow them up a ladder. And it's like they couldn't pass them because they were just up under them. And it really felt like the Spurs wanted it more, like from the jump. And I think that was the ultimate decider. Is it wasn't all the X's and O's. It wasn't just the game plan or just somebody being better than another. It felt like these guys wanted more than these guys, and they are showing it. Everything they did it with conviction. The way how confident Julian Champagnie was when he was knocking down threes, it looked like when he caught it, he knew he was shooting it and he knew it was going in. Like it all looked fluid. Even Keldon Johnson hit a couple of back-to-back threes, and it's like, even though his release is slow, you knew as soon as he caught the ball, he was shooting the ball. And that is what I think ultimately won the Spurs the game in the series, is the conviction and the decisiveness of the Spurs in that Game 7 matchup. So kudos to the San Antonio Spurs making the finals. Their core is really crazy young. I said before that I think they could trade De'Aaron Fox for some type of piece that makes him even better. Somebody like a Trey Murphy or Michael Porter Jr. to space the floor, give them a little bit more size, and give them some more shooting to where Julian Champagnie can come off the bench, and that boosters their bench more with Carter Bryant and Champagnie. I don't know if Cornette is their best option as a backup big. I think they can get somebody a little bit more athletic and maybe somebody a little bit more offensively gifted, which would then help them when in the non-Victor minutes, where he can just really actually get rest and they can still protect the rim and they can still give them some type of offensive input, whether it being lobs or catch and shoot threes, anything like that. So moving on to the Spurs versus Knicks series preview, I think these two teams are very different. I think offensively, I credit Mike Brown with the New York Knicks. He's really got them moving the ball a lot more. Those possessions where Jalen Brunson just kind of pounds the ball over and over again for about 20 seconds and then shoots it or passes it, those don't happen anymore. I think they get more players involved, and that makes them a lot of a better team because the ball has energy. The more people touch it, the more inclined they are going to be in the game, the more locked in they're going to be on the game plan and things of that nature. So kudos to Mike Brown for making that adjustment. I think the Knicks play a physical style of defense, but it's more so predicated on their point of attack defenders more so than their rim protection. And they do have rim protection, but it's not that they are trying to funnel players to that rim protection. It's they're trying to force them into shooting tough jumpers or kick out, catch and shoot threes over high hands. I think that's more of the Knicks type of defensive game plan. And on the Spurs defensive game plan, you do have a really good you have a couple of good point of attack defenders. I think Stephon Castle is obviously, I think he's one of the top 10 point of attack defenders in the NBA. I think Devin Vassell is a lot better point of attack defender than he gets credit for. I don't really like Julian Champagnie on the ball. I think Dylan Harper is very good on the ball. I think he's stronger than what he looks, and he's able to stay in front, move his feet, and use his instincts to guard people. Carter Bryant, he didn't get a lot of minutes, but he can defend on the ball. So I do think that the Spurs have point of attack defenders, but their game plan is to really press up, speed up the game to where they are funneling people into Wemby, and Wemby is able to deter shots, and they can kind of stay home with shooters to get steals to then be able to play in transition, and that be their main offense. So I think this will be a more of a back and forth series because of the way the Knicks play offense, being the ball movement and them having a lot of shooters, and Jalen Brunson being a threat to shoot the three off the dribble, as well as Karl Anthony Towns being able to step out and shoot the three. That matchup with him and Victor is gonna be something that you're going to have to pay attention to, or if Victor is even guarding Karl Anthony Towns at all, which I don't know if the Spurs will do. I don't foresee them putting Julian Champagnie on Karl Anthony Towns because of how gifted Cat is as a scorer inside the paint as well, and that would be a lot of size and weight that Champagnie would be giving up. So the matchups, I do see Victor probably starting on Cat. I can see the Spurs going to some two big type of lineups to where Cornette may be guarding Cat and Wemby can stay on somebody like Josh Hart to where he can still protect the paint and not have to step out, because Josh Hart is a streaky shooter. You can kind of live or die with him missing or making shots. For the Spurs offensively, it's going to be them being able to break the paint and limit turnovers. I think the Knicks are a very physical perimeter team. You have OG Anunoby, Deuce McBride, Josh Hart, and even Mikal Bridges to an extent. He's not that physical defender, but he's long, he's lengthy. He can kind of get you sped up off of ball screens and things like that. So the Spurs is going to be them not turning the ball over and breaking the paint. De'Aaron Fox and Stephon Castle have to cut out those passes where they're maybe breaking the paint on one side and they're trying to hit the opposite corner, because that low man is always tagging off of Victor, sitting like a free safety, kind of waiting to break on that ball, because he knows, okay, he's not gonna throw this because he sees two and he anticipates and goes and steals that. I think both of them have to take that out if they want to win this series. And in the half court, the Spurs, I would like to see them get more body movement. It's a lot of pick and roll, or Dylan, Stephon, De'Aaron, y'all just go try to break the paint and make something happen. Or it's Wemby out on the perimeter with all five eyes on him, at 7'4", and yes, he's a generational talent, being able to handle the ball like that at that size. But it's very hard to score when you have 10 eyes on you and somebody is pressing up. Now, can he do it at times? Yes, but I think the evolution of the Spurs offense and Wemby's offensive game is getting him off of actions to be able to get him to spots to use his size more effectively, whether it's a pin down to get him an easy catch in the mid post and now he can operate, or it's him setting more off ball screens, slipping those screens and different things of that nature. I think that would help the Spurs offense because it's very stagnant and there's not a lot of variance in it. So with these two teams, I think they play two different styles of basketball, and it's going to be a clash, and whoever operates their style, whoever makes the other team adjust their style first, in my opinion, is the team that will win this series. And I think both teams present a lot of matchup problems for the other. I think with the Spurs, they are able to present a matchup problem to the Knicks because at the end of the day, Jalen Brunson is only 6'1", maybe 6'2", and the Spurs, especially in that starting unit, every guy is somebody that is an offensive threat. And you can say, yeah, let me just stick him on Julian Champagnie. But I saw Julian Champagnie be able to pump fake, put the ball on the ground, get to the rim, or get to his mid-range. So Jalen Brunson is going to be challenged on the defensive end regardless of who he's guarding. And his size is what can kind of hurt because he's not going to really be able to contest where they see his contest. He's pretty sturdy, but Stephon Castle being 6'5", 6'6", Dylan Harper being 6'5", 6'6", they're going to be able to rise up over him, especially in that mid-range area that I saw a lot of growth from both of them throughout that last series. They're going to be able to rise over him and kind of get to that shot a lot more times than not. So I am interested to see how the Knicks attack that. And then for the Spurs, it's the cat. It's really Karl Anthony Towns is the matchup problem for them because the Spurs love to keep Victor Wembanyama in the paint. If he's guarding Cat, he's going to have to step out because he can knock that down at a high clip. And you can say, yeah, let's put Julian Champagnie on him, but now Cat can go post up and Wemby will be there. So I think that is a positive, but you don't want to, that's something that can result in Champagnie getting in foul trouble, the Knicks being in the bonus, and now Jalen Brunson is able to operate more freely because you can't be physical with him. So I think those are the two matchup problems that each team presents. I think personally it will be a lot tougher on the Knicks as they are, although they're a very ball movement team, they like to attack closeouts. I don't see a lot of them shooting mid-range shots outside of Jalen Brunson. They are either threes or layups. Mikal Bridges will get to his mid-range a little bit. So it's going to be, can the Knicks knock down those mid-range shots? Because I think the Spurs are going to try to funnel them in. And they're going to be tough mid-range shots. They're going to be contested. And that is something that can be up or down. There's going to be a lot of variance in that. So I think I'm going to go with the Spurs in 6. I like the size that they are able to present, the multiple point of attack defenders, and just the ultimate rim protection with Wemby. The only thing that scares me is what type of offensive output will they get in the half court. Not in transition, but in the half court, because the Knicks are going to be a hard team to turn over because of, one, all the smart players they have, but two, if push comes to shove, they do have a ball control point guard that can get you a good shot in many different ways. So I think that it's going to come down to the fact that the Knicks, others, so outside of Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, are going to have to make tough contested mid-ranges, and there's not going to be a lot at the rim they can get in those Victor minutes. And that is ultimately what is going to allow the Spurs to get out in transition, to get easy baskets, and to go on runs throughout the game, to be able to offset that half court offensive output. So I have Spurs in 6. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Who do y'all think wins the series? How many games? Who will be the top performer? Who do y'all think is somebody that's a sneaky X factor? Y'all let me know in the comments. I appreciate y'all so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll be back.